Living with rats, nothing is sacred. They will chew everything. If I sit like this for too long, Crystal and Nibbles have got a thing about nipping my toes. I thought she was going to do it then. Daisy not so much, Chomp not so much. They will chew carpet as well, I'll just show you. There's a nice chunk out of the carpet there, and all the carpet bits there. But I don't mind, it's an old carpet. Nibbles has just come and nipped my toe as I was moving. They've also chewed a little hole in the sofa. Now, that's a sofa bed, and the girls will either sneak down the side of the cushions and go underneath the base of the sofa where the bed unit is, or they will go, they used to go down the side of the sofa there where Chomp normally goes, or straight under the front there and end up under the sofa unit. Here's Nibs. Do you want to go up on the sofa? And go on then, Nick. What they'll do, they'll be under there for hours and hours. And if you're stuck for wanting to go out somewhere urgently, you won't be able to, because you cannot, I cannot, for the life of me, get a hold of the girls while they're under there. There's just too many hiding spaces. And even with the bed unit pulled out, they can get as far back as they can near to there's a radiator behind there underneath that white shelf. They'll go as far back underneath these cushions as they can, that I can't physically get my arm down to reach them, to pull them out. So I've had to put bits of wood. That's just 3x2. Basically, I've just screwed it underneath the front end of the sofa. The black bit at the end is where the actual sofa leg is. And what I've done, I've cut the wood to go in between the sofa legs. That's the wood. And it just stops them from disappearing under the sofa. So now, they're always in somewhere, some place that I can actually reach them if I'm in a hurry to go out, if there's an emergency or anything to go out and I don't want to leave them out. But most of the time, they are what I'd call free-range rats. Most of the time, they only use the cage for sleeping in at night. They'll either sleep in that igloo. You can see what I've done is, I've got an old black pillowcase there and just pushed it into the igloo for them to make a nest in there. They'll sleep in the hammock quite a lot, or they'll sleep in the tubes. That's their 3 favourite sleeping places. They'll pretty much only go in the cage to sleep or to use the toilet. Oh, that's another thing. The girls have never, ever messed anywhere in the room. They always go in that litter tray, or at least if they don't make it to the litter tray, it's in the cage. I can even take the girls downstairs for an hour and they won't mess downstairs. Here's Chompy. Chompy. They're quite good. They know where their cage is. You know, what they'll do if they're downstairs, they'll fight to get out of your hand and get onto the floor, and they'll actually run up the stairs and run into the into the cage and go in the litter tray if they need to use the toilet. They are quite rats are cleaner than you think in that respect. They won't mess anywhere in my bedroom or downstairs or anywhere like that. If they do, they have done a couple of times. I think Chomp's trying to do a great escape manoeuvre. She usually runs across the radiator shelf and straight down that gap. I've left that open for her. She can't get under the sofa from there or past that screen behind anywhere that she can hurt herself. They have messed a couple of times, but I think it was just nerves because someone new was at the house and they were meeting new friends and they were nervous. We've got Crystal just here, look. Looking for a piece of carpet to chew. See, they'll chew things because their teeth are always growing, and they have to chew things by nature to wear the teeth down, or what happens is their teeth will actually grow into their opposite jaw. If it's the top teeth, they'll grow that long, they'll actually either grow into the bottom jaw, or they'll curl completely round and grow like into the palate of the mouth, and they won't be able to eat anything then. They'll lose weight, they'll be uncomfortable, their attitude, their personality will change for the worse because they'll be in a grumpy mood. Now, you won't know it's happening until it's too late, because rats do not show their pain very much because they're predatory animals. There goes Chomp. Gone. She'll come back out there on her own in a bit, or I can just reach down there and pick her up. As I was saying though, rats are, what do you call it, prey animals. So they're scared of any other bigger animals more, apart from humans that they're associated with as friendly. Daisy's taking chunks out of the carpet. So they won't show the pain for a long time until it's really, really hurting them. And then by then it's usually too late, so you've got to keep an eye on them. I get the girls on their backs in my hand and tickle the bellies just to check the bellies quite a lot. I check the private parts every so often just to make sure there's no stuck poo or any problems, any lumps or anything like that. Nibbles? What was that for? They do like arguing. I think one of them might be in season. When they are, which happens quite often, they'll chase each other around. Or one will chase the rest around, or the rest will chase that one around. Crystal. It's quite nice having pet rats. For all the cons, there's more pros. I'd say there's more reasons to own pet rats than there is not to own pet rats. For all that they chew and for all the money that they cost you, they are absolutely brilliant pets. I couldn't ask for better pets. These four girls are incredible. If you want a pet that's going to keep you sane and give you enjoyment, and you give them enjoyment and have a really nice time with them and be able to do strange things with them, like for instance go shopping with them on your shoulder, which I've done with Nibbles before and Chomp. Rats are the one. Rats are the pet. They're very intelligent. They will groom you, they will chew your hair if you let them. What I sometimes do is I'll lay down and the girls will go behind the pillow and they'll just sit near the top of my head grooming me and chewing my hair. They chew me whiskers on my face, my beard, my moustache, when I've got whiskers, that is. Oh, Crystal. They will nip your toes. Now I've found if you've got bare feet, if you've got no socks on, they're less likely to chew your toes than you are with socks on. I think it's something to do with them not being able to see that they're your feet, so to speak. They think it's something else, so they'll just have a quick nip, and then if you make like a squeaky noise, a high-pitched squeaky noise, or go eep really loud, they'll stop. And eventually, after you've done that a couple of times, they get used to not doing it, and then whatever it is you're not wanting them to do, if you make a high-pitched squeak, like as if you're blowing someone a kiss type of squeak, or like I say, go eep really loud, they'll what they'll do first is they'll freeze because it'll scare them a little bit, and then after a couple of times of them doing what you don't want them to do and then squeaking at them, they'll stop. They're quite intelligent. Crystal. Crystal likes going down my jumper and up my sleeves. Mind you, most of them do. Even Chomp, the big rat. So... oh! Crystal fell down. That's another way that DVDs end up on the floor then. So, yeah. The girls will... they enjoy it inside your clothing. They'll come and get in your jumper. What Crystal does, she likes going down the neck of my jumper. Daisy likes going up my sleeve. They try to get in my trousers too. I don't let them go in my trousers though, but there you go. If they want to, they'll get to anything too. You give them a chance and they'll climb up anything, and they'll get to anything, and they'll eat the packaging and eat whatever's in what they get hold of. Nibbles. But they are. No matter how much you can say bad about rats, they're still really, really good pets. You can have such a good time with them. For instance, Nibbly. Nibbles is a shoulder rat. She loves being on my shoulder. She's always jumping up me. Yeah, there's more pros to having rats than there is cons. I would say anyway. I've really enjoyed the last 2 years that I've had Nibbles and Chomp, and the last nearly a year that I've had Crystal and Daisy. They're so intelligent. I try to give them as much freedom as possible. For instance, tonight, just for this video, I've got the bedroom door shut, but usually I've given all the girls like 6 or 8 months with the door shut, but I've started opening the bedroom door after they've been here for a while. And I've even taken the girls downstairs with me and let them run back up, and they won't run off, they won't go anywhere else. They'll run back upstairs, in through the bedroom door and straight into the cage. They're really good. They don't try to escape per se, as you would think either. What they'll do, they'll run off to explore, but they'll only go so far and then they'll come back. So if, for instance, my bedroom door's open and one of the other bedroom doors is open, they'll wander off out the bedroom, across the landing. They'll either go down to the bottom of the stairs and then look at something and run back up, or they'll go into one of the other bedrooms to have a quick look at something and then come back in across the landing. They won't actually run off, forever run off sort of thing. Well, these 4 won't anyway, these 4 haven't. Crystal. Nibblies. You nearly hit Crystal on the head then. Kitchen roll they'll take that whole roll, will disappear within a second, and that will be screwed up in that igloo, or even stuffed into one of the tubes. So I'll put that back on there. As you can see, the duvet is bunched up there and they can just about reach the table, so they'll jump up like Daisy's just done, and they'll literally, they can get anywhere and everywhere. My neighbour's got rats, and her dad said a rat can get where water can't, and it's pretty true. Rats can get anywhere. Hello, Nibbles. Nibbles has come for a cuddle. She loves being on my shoulders. What she'll do, she'll pace from side to side until she can get down. There's Nibbles, my shoulder rat. There's Nibs having a drink. So Nibbles jumped off my shoulder and knocked the Cheerio box, and all the other girls are anchoring for Cheerios now. Oh, the other thing is about rats, they won't bite your fingers. Not properly bite, what they'll do when they're first getting to know you, they'll come up to you and they'll have a little nip. And the thing is, the jaws are that fast, it'll shock you. They nip like snakes striking at you. It'll be, and they'll have nipped you and then let go. By the time you react to their nip, they'll have actually let go. It'll shock you. They'll nip the soft part of your flesh. They won't draw blood. They'll just nip to see, like a baby chewing on things to find out what it is. But again, you can stop them nipping. Oh, careful nibs. To stop them nipping, you can just make a squeaky noise at them, and they won't nip you then. They'll stop nipping you. They won't bite you. They won't draw blood purposely unless they've got reason to. You know, if they won't draw blood, mine haven't never drawn blood. I would expect that they'd only draw blood if you intentionally injured them and they knew it was you. Then they might sink the teeth in. But they do nip, and it doesn't hurt, it just shocks you. But that shock is enough to put some people off having rats. But if you can get past a week of them nipping your fingers, nipping your toes, they'll even nip your nose, they'll nip they've nipped my eyelids, they've nipped my nose, they've nipped my chin, they've nipped my nipples when they've been down my top. They will nip anything and everything just to find out what it is. If they don't know that it's part of your body, they'll nip it just to find out exactly what it is. Crystal's still a little nippy. Crystal's her nickname's Scaredy Rat, sorry. She's a bit more timid than the rest. I don't know whether she was in a litter of bullies, but I don't know whether she was the runt of the litter that she was in. But she's quite timid. If you make a bang or even that sort of noise close to her, she'll freeze or she'll run off. If you catch her off guard, say if she's asleep and you go to pet her, she'll just quickly turn her head around, nip you, and then look at you to find out what you are. It's like Crystal's defence mechanism is on fire, but you can put, well, when she doesn't run away. I can pretty much just put my hand out like that under her and pick her up. She's got a packet of them sticks. She's going to drag them in that igloo. As I was saying, if you catch her off guard, she'll have a quick nip at your fingers if you try to pick her up without her knowing that you're going to pick her up. I've got around that a lot by saying her name out loud before I pick her up, or gently going towards her like that and seeing if she comes to my hand. I found a really good way of picking the girls up if I can get them out from underneath the table for a second. Yeah, they love peanut butter. Daisy's just froze. Right. I really need two hands for this, but I'll see if I can do it. No. You put your hand like that. I know Chomp won't do it because she backs up too quick. You put your hand like that under the belly, and you put your fingers in between the legs, and it's like one of the back legs will be there, one of the back legs will be there, and the tail will be there, and then you just literally lift your hand up with them sat on your hand. If they feel like they've walked onto your hand, I'll see if Crystal will do it. Crystal, no. Yeah, no, not quite. Nibs sometimes does. You really need two hands for that, because what I normally do is put my hand behind the bum as well. Nibs. See if I can do it with Nibs. Come on in. No. When you've got two hands, it's easier. I'm holding the phone with one hand, and Right, let's see. Kind of like that. And they'll just sit on your hand. If you can, get the tail between your fingers and just don't pinch hard. Just let their tail droop between your fingers. And as long as you've got their tail between the fingers, they think that their tail's trapped, kind of thing, and they won't move. And then obviously, if you part your fingers like that for them to let the tail out, they'll then walk up your arm. Crystal, can I pick you up, Crystal? Come on. No? Chompy. Chomp won't let me pick her up. I have to literally use 2 hands to pick Chomp up. Chomp never walks onto my hand, usually. Is this going to be one of them days? No. So yeah, handling rats, it's quite easy. You can use that method where you put your hand like that on the floor and they'll just walk onto your hand, and you lift your hand like that with them on your hand. If you have your arm out straight like that, they'll just walk up your arm and sit on your shoulder, and they'll pace from side to side on your shoulders. If you put your hand down like that, they'll walk down your arm onto the floor. If you put your hand up near a shelf, say like that, they'll walk onto the shelf. What you can do, you can, if you're gentle, pick rats up like that, and then as long as you've got the other hand to put them in quite quick, it doesn't hurt them, as long as you're gentle. And if I had 2 hands free, I'd get Crystal onto her back so I can tickle her belly. See, Crystal just walks onto me now anyway. See, just lift my hand up and she'll use me like an elevator to get to a shelf that she wants to see. And then the important thing is, once you've picked them up or done something positive with them, see if you can give them a treat. Because what they do is they associate treats with positive actions. So if they've done something good, or they think you've done something good for them, and you give them a treat to reinforce the fact that they've done something good, they're more likely to do it again, and they'll just repeat doing it over and over again after they're used to it. So yeah, while they're sat still, you can sit and pet them. While they're eating, my girls are quite active though. Once Daisy's finished eating, I mean, she's moving around in circles now, but once she's finished eating, she won't let me pet her. She'd rather wander off. Crystal's ready to get down, so I'll just put my arm on it. Oh no, she wants another treat by the looks of it. You can tell she's trying to get in the box, or she was before I pointed the camera at her. Daisy, oh. Daisy rat. Crystal was trying to get onto the shelf above where she is now. Nibbly. See, Nibbles quite easily and freely just walks onto my hand. Daisy's trying to climb up. They know that the treats are on the shelves out of their reach if they're on the floor, you see. So they will try their best to get onto the shelves above. Oi, Daisy. Daisy, you've got one. Oh, now I've got you. There you go, Nibs. Yeah, they fight for food sometimes. Them two will just sit there because they know there are more treats in that tub than in that bag. And oh, ice cream sauce. They love it. Chocolate, toffee, strawberry. Toffee's about their favourite. Oh no. Nibs. No. Now in this situation, she'll grab a couple of treats, as many as she can get in her mouth, and then want to get down like that, and then she'll walk down my arm, and then she'll go and stash him in the cage. Daisy's the same. Daisy will pick more than one treat up and then go and stash it. Nib nib. Crystal's getting the DVD out. She's going to throw it this time, I think. What they tend to do is they tend to go for one DVD and look behind it to see if there's any way out of the room. If they can't find a way out, what they'll do, they'll take another DVD out of the rack and they'll look for another way out of the room. Nibbles and Crystal are the ones that do that the most. Crystal. There's Crystal, look. Come for a cuddle. Crystal pie. Daisy Rat's going up my sleeve. No, she's not. She was. I've just given the girls a treat because they were starting to climb all over me while I was making a video for you. It doesn't last long. I don't get much peace. I give them a treat. They used to get a treat and run off, but now they're quite wise to the fact that I've got treats, and they'll hang around near me, or like Crystal, sit on my knee and just beg for treats. Here comes Daisy and Chomp. Let's get Chompy one because you haven't had one of your Chomp. Where's she gone? Where's Chompy? Hang on. There she is. She got one. Chomp will still wander off most of the time, and she'll sit on the DVD rack just like that. And she'll eat her treat because, even though she's the biggest rat that I've got, Crystal, which is trying to bite my toes between my legs, Crystal steals Chomp's bickies, treats and things off her. Crystal's quite a dominant rat compared to Chomp. She's gone for her now, look. So Chomp will usually either sit on that DVD rack where the other girls won't pester her, or she'll run off and sit underneath one of the tables and things. Daisy's just jumped onto my hand. Okay. Daisy, jump on the shelf. The girls are pretty good. Usually, if I put my hand out, they usually climb onto my hand, like that. And then they use me like a ratty elevator. They'll climb onto me and turn round, and then go and climb on the cage, shelf. And they're after the treats that are in that box. Chomp is still quite, even though I've had Chomp 2 years, I can put my hand out, but 9 times out of 10 she won't climb onto my hand. These 3 will, because they know that I'm lifting them up to get to something that involves food. Whereas Chomp's quite a bit more chilled. She loves her food, but she won't pester me for food as much. Not as much as the other girls. And for such a big rat, she does fit down my sleeve. She's been up my jumper sleeve quite a few times. Hello, Chompy. My big butt. My big girlie. Chompy. Are you giving me kisses, Chomp? Are you sniffing in my ear? I've got Chomp crawling all over me. Come on, Chompy. Shall we get up? Shall I turn the camera around so that people can see you? Are you going to face the camera, Chomp? Chompy. This is pretty much what girls are like, rats are like, I should say. Sorry about the lighting. I've had my phone camera on with the light the other side, but I've changed around so that I can actually see what I'm recording, and there's no light on this side. This is pretty much what rats are like when you've got them on your shoulder. Hang on, that's better. What they'll do, they'll pretty much pace backwards and forwards between shoulder and shoulder, and then they'll try to get down your front or try to get down your back, whichever way you lean. If I do that, Chomp will be straight down my jumper. Daisy. Daisy's on a homemade rat tree that I've built out of spare pieces of wood from repairing the shed and decking boards. It worked out well because I think it's about 2 foot high and it's just about the same height as the arm of the settee. So the girls can jump from that top platform to the arm of the settee and run across the settee over there whenever they want. They love it. And I can store ratty things under it. Yes, that apple juice is the girls. I put a quick dash of apple juice in their water bottles, not all the time, just from time to time. I don't go mad with it. Daisy. She's gorgeous.